For years now, telecommuting, that is working from home using the internet, has been touted as the future of the 21st century workplace. Some studies even suggest workers are more productive at home. But this week, Yahoo's new CEO canceled the company's telecommuting program, stirring a renewed debate over home versus office. So we want to talk that over with two workplace experts. Bob Rosner is the author of The Boss's Survival Guide, a business bestseller. And also with us is Deborah Shigley. She is the author of The Go-Getter Girl's Guide, Get What You Want in Work and Life. It's great to have both of you with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Deborah, how do you work from home and prove to your boss that you're not a deadbeat, you're working hard?
Well, I think people that are productive in the workplace tend to be productive at home. But you do need to communicate. You need to establish some kind of guidelines for how you're going to do this. And typically this works better if it's a more formalized program as opposed to just sort of a one-off kind of thing.
Right. There's some interesting numbers on this. It says that survey people who work from home found that 43% watch TV, 26% take naps, 24% drink alcohol. I mean, if you're a boss, how do you monitor what your workers are doing at home?
Well, the bottom line is they're more productive. Every study that I've seen says that home-based workers are more productive.
Why?
Why? Because there's less interruptions, it's quieter, and you're not spending all that time commuting. So we beat up on home-based workers, yet they're the productive ones. The real question to ask is, what's going on at the office? Why are they so unproductive? That's the question.
Well, there's face time at the office, and what some people will say is you have to build those relationships in order to make your work productive in the first place.
Yes, it's true. And in fact, some research has shown that you're less likely to get promoted if you work from home on a permanent basis. But I don't think that's what we're talking about here. I think why this has touched such a nerve is because, a lot of people work from home maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and that has a nice complement with the in-office face time, and you can kind of have the best of both worlds, and we don't want to just limit that altogether because it is so important to have flexibility nowadays.
Well, the key question is, if you're working in a workplace and the question is, does Rebecca still work here? And what about that guy, Anthony?
Right.
Whether you work at home or you work in the office, you have to be visible.
Right.
And that's the key. You can't play the Casper the Friendly Ghost thing.
Right, yeah.
People
Because you
have to
lose
see you.
you'll lose in the office politics game if you disappear.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's how you not get promoted. Yeah. I mean, are there types of employees who thrive working at home, Bob?
Well, I once got an email from somebody who was going from an office to a home, and she wanted to sound like she still worked in an office. So she made a tape of office sounds. And so when she was on the phone, she could sound like she was at a big office. She found herself in the middle of the afternoon listening to the tape because she was lonely. Not a good person. You have to be able to be alone, self-directed, self-motivated. There are people for whom this is perfect. There's other people who need to go to the office on a regular basis. But the problem with Yahoo is the idea of eliminating it entirely is cutting off a key group of people who are your most productive people. That's not a smart move. The surprising part about Yahoo, there's a lot of talk in the press about this being really a layoff.
Yeah.
They are laying people off without announcing a layoff by saying telecommuters come back. And so this story isn't necessarily what you think it is. All of the trends say telecommuting is getting bigger and bigger.
Our objective, though, is to make everybody as successful as they can be.
Right.
So, Deborah, tell us, how do you create a work environment at home that is the most successful, that will send you the farthest in your career?
Well, first of all, you want to have a set workplace, right? You want to have a designated place where you're going to do your work, whether it's an office. You want to get rid of distractions. There's even programs you can do to kind of turn off all your Facebook and all of those kinds of things. And, sometimes you need to do that in order to actually sit down and focus. But the fact is, like we talked about, there's more minutes done working when you're at home because you're not commuting, you're not doing all the other kinds of things. You can deal with your family logistics. And that's the big picture that we want to talk about.
Well, Deborah didn't talk about the two enemies of a new home worker, the refrigerator and the TV.
So turn it off and close it. Deborah Shigley, Bob Rosner, thanks so much to both of you.